Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have an absolute masterpiece of a revenge story. Imagine being treated like total garbage by a power-tripping receptionist who has no idea that you actually just bought the entire company. Before we dive into the drama, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like on this video so you never miss any of our daily stories. Alright, let's get straight into the madness. To understand the sheer magnitude of what happened last Tuesday, I need to give you some background context about my life, my business, and my family dynamic. I am a 28-year-old female, and I am the proud founder, majority shareholder, and CEO of a rapidly growing tech corporation. I didn't come from money. I worked 80-hour weeks, risked my entire savings, and sacrificed my social life throughout my early 20s to build this empire from scratch. My family, however, never supported me. I have a younger sister named Chloe who is 24. Chloe has always been the ultimate golden child in our household. She is physically beautiful, charismatic in a superficial way, and incredibly spoiled. Growing up, our parents practically worshipped the ground she walked on. If Chloe wanted something, she got it instantly. If I achieved something, it was completely ignored. The worst part about Chloe is that she is a textbook narcissist. She has spent her entire life looking down on me. When I dropped out of a traditional college path to focus on my first tech startup, Chloe and my parents ridiculed me mercilessly. They told everyone at family dinners that I was a failure, a dropout, and that I would end up working a dead-end job. Chloe used to send me smug text messages mocking my clothes, my old car, and my tiny apartment. Because of her constant emotional abuse and our parents' toxic favoritism, I made the executive decision to go completely no contact with all of them 5 years ago. I blocked their numbers, blocked them on social media, and focused entirely on my company. They had absolutely no idea that my startup became a multi-million-dollar corporation. To them, I was just the black sheep who vanished. Fast forward to last month. My corporation was aggressively expanding, and we finalized the acquisition of a smaller, local digital marketing firm. This firm had a decent client base, but was notorious for having severe internal management issues and terrible customer service ratings online. As the new owner and overarching CEO, I wanted to understand exactly why this firm was failing from the inside out. I didn't want the local management team to put on a fake, polished performance for me during an official corporate visit. So, I decided to conduct a secret, unannounced inspection. I planned to walk into their headquarters completely alone, pretending to be a random visitor or a low-level salesperson, just to observe how their staff treated regular people. To look the part, I completely dressed down. I wore faded blue jeans, an oversized plain gray t-shirt, beat-up white sneakers, and I tied my hair back in a messy bun. No designer bags, no expensive jewelry, no makeup. I looked like a broke college student or someone desperately trying to pitch a low-level product. I took an Uber to their corporate office building downtown. I walked through the glass revolving doors into the massive, shiny marble lobby at around 9:15 a.m. The atmosphere was professional, with executives walking around in expensive suits. I took a deep breath and walked straight toward the front reception desk to ask for the regional manager. But the very second I got closer to the desk, my heart skipped a beat, and I froze dead in my tracks. Sitting right there, behind the polished mahogany desk, snapping her gum and staring intently at her iPhone, was my estranged sister, Chloe. I stood there, completely paralyzed for about 10 seconds, processing the absolute irony of the universe. Of all the corporate offices in the city, my toxic, abusive younger sister was working as the front desk receptionist for the exact company I had just bought. She didn't notice me at first because she was too busy texting and giggling at her phone screen. I took a deep breath, swallowed the lump in my throat, and realized this was the ultimate test of her professionalism. I walked right up to the counter, knocked lightly on the wood to get her attention, and said in a calm, professional voice, "Hi there, good morning. I'm here to see the regional manager, Mr. Davis." Chloe didn't look up immediately. Instead, she let out a very loud, dramatic sigh, rolled her eyes so hard I thought they would get stuck, and slowly locked her phone. When she finally raised her head to look at me, her arrogant expression instantly morphed into pure shock. But that shock didn't last long. Within 2 seconds, her face twisted into a smug, nasty, condescending sneer. "Oh, my absolute God," Chloe said, her voice dripping with pure disgust as she leaned back in her ergonomic office chair. "Look what the absolute cat dragged in. What are you doing here, Olivia? Did your little hobby website finally go bankrupt? Are you looking for janitor position or something?" I maintained my composure. I didn't smile and I didn't get angry. I kept my voice completely flat. "Chloe, I am not here to play family games with you. I have an urgent matter to discuss with the regional manager, Mr. Davis. Please let him know that Olivia Williams is downstairs in the lobby." Chloe literally burst into a loud, mocking laugh that caused several businessmen walking past the desk to stop and stare at us. She clapped her manicured hands together. "Olivia Williams, are you serious right now? Let me look at you." She stood up, crossing her arms, looking me up and down with intense judgment. "Look at your clothes. Look at your shoes. You look like a homeless person who wandered in from the street. Mr. Davis is a highly respected regional executive. He is currently preparing the entire building for a massive meeting with our new corporate billionaire owner who bought the company last month. He doesn't have time to waste on a broke, desperate, dropout salesperson like you. Get out of my lobby." "I am not a salesperson, Chloe," I replied, stepping closer to the desk. "And I strongly suggest you call Mr. Davis right now and give him my name. If you don't, you are going to severely regret it." Chloe's smile vanished and her eyes narrowed into pure malice. She slammed her hand down on the reception desk. "Are you threatening me in my own building? Who do you think you are? You are nothing. You have always been nothing. Let me tell you how reality works, Olivia. I am the face of this front desk. I control who goes up those elevators and who stays down here. And looking at you, you don't belong in a prestigious place like this." I looked directly into her eyes. "Chloe, are you really going to risk your entire employment and livelihood just to satisfy your petty, childhood hatred for your sister? Is this how you treat every visitor who doesn't wear a $3,000 suit?" Chloe laughed again, an incredibly arrogant, high-pitched sound. "Risk my job? Honey, you are so incredibly clueless. Let me educate you. I am completely untouchable in this firm. I am best friends with the HR director, and I've been dating the head of marketing's son for 6 months. I can treat you however I want. I can throw your name in the trash, and nobody in this entire building can fire me. You have absolutely no power here. Now, I am going to count to 3, and if you don't turn around and walk out of those glass doors, I am going to have you forcibly removed." I didn't move an inch. I just crossed my arms and watched her. "Fine, you want to do this the hard way," Chloe snapped. She picked up the desk phone, dialed a 2-digit extension, and barked into the receiver. "Security, I need 2 guards at the main reception desk immediately. We have a hostile, delusional trespasser refusing to leave the premises." Within less than 30 seconds, 2 massive security guards in black uniforms hurried across the marble floor. They stood on either side of me, looking incredibly intimidating. One of them, a tall guy with a buzz cut, looked at me and said, "Ma'am, the receptionist says you don't have an appointment and are refusing to leave. You need to come with us right now, or we will have to escort you out by force." Chloe leaned over the counter, a look of absolute sadistic triumph on her face. She whispered, "Bye-bye, loser, go back to whatever hole you crawled out of." But right at that exact microsecond, before the security guards could even lay a single finger on my arms, a loud ding echoed through the lobby. The executive elevator doors slid open, and a crowd of about 10 people stepped out. It was the regional manager, Mr. Davis, the chief financial officer, the head of marketing, and the entire local executive board. They were holding a massive silk welcoming banner, carrying a gorgeous bouquet of orchids, and looking around the lobby with absolute panic and anxiety written all over their faces. They were frantically looking for the new billionaire CEO, who was supposed to arrive at any moment. Mr. Davis scanned the room, and his eyes suddenly locked directly onto me standing between the 2 security guards. His eyes went wide, his skin completely lost all of its color, turning a translucent white, and he dropped his corporate iPad directly onto the floor. It shattered, but he didn't even care. Mr. Davis literally began sprinting across the marble lobby, his leather dress shoes clicking loudly, pushing past employees and visitors. The rest of the executive board followed right behind him like a flock of panicked sheep. Chloe saw them running and immediately assumed they were coming to help her. She pointed her finger at me and shouted, "Mr. Davis, thank goodness you're here. This crazy, broke woman smuggled herself into the lobby and is demanding to see you. I already called security to throw her out, don't worry." Mr. Davis didn't even look at Chloe. He reached our position, shoved one of the security guards out of the way with his arm, and stopped directly in front of me. He bent his head down in a deep, trembling bow, sweating so profusely that drops were falling from his forehead. "CEO Williams." Mr. Davis stammered, his voice cracking with absolute terror. "Oh my God, CEO Williams, we are so incredibly, deeply sorry. We were waiting for you at the private executive entrance garage upstairs. We had no idea you would walk through the public front lobby. Please accept our humblest apologies." The entire lobby went into a state of total, suffocating silence. The two security guards immediately dropped their hands to their sides, took 3 steps back, and looked like they wanted the floor to open up and swallow them whole. But nobody's reaction compared to Chloe's. My sister's jaw literally unhinged. Her eyes looked like they were going to pop completely out of her skull. Her hands began visibly shaking against the wood of the desk, and all the color drained from her face until she looked like a walking corpse. She looked at Mr. Davis, then looked at me, then back at Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis," Chloe whispered, her voice completely trembling, losing all of her previous arrogance. "What do you mean, there's a mistake? This is Olivia. She's my broke older sister. She's a college dropout. She doesn't own anything." Mr. Davis turned around slowly, and the look of pure rage he gave Chloe was terrifying. He slammed his fist onto her counter, making her jump. "Shut your mouth, Chloe. Are you completely insane? This is Ms. Olivia Williams. She is the founder and CEO of Williams Tech Industries. She bought our entire company last month. She literally owns the chair you are sitting on, the desk you are leaning on, and this entire building. Did you just try to have our new ultimate boss thrown out by security?" Chloe collapsed backward into her office chair, covering her mouth with both hands, hyperventilating. She looked at me, and tears of absolute panic began streaming down her face. She realized in one horrific second that the sister she had spent her life abusing and humiliating was now the absolute dictator of her career and her future. I looked at Mr. Davis, completely ignoring Chloe's silent sobs. I adjusted my plain gray t-shirt and spoke in my official, cold corporate tone. "Mr. Davis, it seems your front desk has a massive, severe customer service problem. We need to hold an emergency meeting in the main executive conference room on the top floor immediately, and I want the HR director present within the next 5 minutes." "Yes, Ms. Williams, right away, Ms. Williams," Mr. Davis yelled, gesturing wildly toward the executive elevator. As I turned around to walk toward the elevator, Chloe scrambled out from behind the desk. She ran toward me, falling to her knees, grabbing at the hem of my jeans, crying hysterically. "Olivia, please, oh my God, Olivia, I didn't know it was you. I swear I was just joking around. We are sisters, we are blood. Please don't do this to me. I need this job, I have bills to pay. Please, sis." I slowly stepped back, pulling my jeans out of her grip. I looked down at her with absolute indifference. "When I walked up to this desk, I gave you my name and asked for professionalism. You told me I was garbage, and you told me you were untouchable because of your connections. Let's see how true that is." I walked into the executive elevator with the board of directors, leaving Chloe crying on the lobby floor in front of all her coworkers. The ride up to the top floor was completely silent. The executives looked like they were walking to their own execution. When we entered the grand conference room, the HR director was already waiting there, trembling in his suit, having heard the rumors from the lobby via text message. I sat at the head of the long glass table. I looked at the IT director who was in the room and said, "Pull up the lobby's security camera footage from 9:15 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Make sure the audio feed is turned on, and project it onto the main wall screen." The IT director clicked a few buttons on his laptop, and the entire confrontation played out in high-definition video and crystal-clear audio. The entire room listened to Chloe calling me a broke, desperate dropout, telling me I looked like a homeless person, and proudly bragging that she was untouchable because she was best friends with the HR director and could do whatever she wanted without consequences. When the video finished, I turned my gaze directly onto the HR director. He looked like he was about to faint. "So," I said, leaning forward, resting my chin on my hands, "is it company policy for receptionists to brag about nepotism, abuse visitors, and threaten them with security based on their clothing? Is she truly untouchable, Mr. Harrison?" The HR director began sweating profusely, shaking his head violently. "No, absolutely not, Ms. Williams. I am casually acquainted with her, but I would never protect someone who violates our strict corporate code of conduct. Her behavior was disgusting, unprofessional, and entirely unacceptable. I will personally handle this." "Good," I replied. "I am ordering the immediate termination of Chloe Williams for gross misconduct, creating a hostile work environment, harassment of visitors, and flagrant violation of company policies. Furthermore, I want her officially blacklisted from ever working for any subsidiary, branch, or partner company associated with Williams Tech Industries." The HR director nodded frantically. "Consider it done, Ms. Williams. She will be out of the system within the next 10 minutes. I looked at Mr. Davis. "Have the same 2 security guards she used against me pack up her personal items from her desk into a cardboard box and escort her out of the building immediately. If she refuses, call the police for trespassing." 10 minutes later, from the glass window of the executive suite, I watched my sister Chloe being marched out of the corporate building by the security guards, crying into a cardboard box, completely humiliated in front of the entire business district. You would think the story ends there, but this is a Reddit story, so you know the family drama was about to explode into nuclear warfare. About 2 hours after Chloe was fired, my phone, which has had the same private number for years, began vibrating uncontrollably. It was a barrage of phone calls and text messages from my mother and my father. Chloe had obviously run straight home to mommy and daddy, spinning a victim story about how her evil, crazy sister showed up at her job and got her fired out of pure jealousy. Since I had them blocked on my regular phone carrier, they actually created fake iCloud accounts and WhatsApp numbers just to bypass my blocks. My mother sent me a text message that was so long it looked like a novel. She wrote, "Olivia, how dare you, how absolute dare you? We raised you, we fed you, and this is how you repay us. Your poor sister Chloe came home completely destroyed, crying her eyes out. She told us you showed up at her prestigious job dressed like a slob, provoked her, and used your new money to bully her manager into firing her. You are a monster. You are a cold, cruel, vindictive psycho. You ruined her career over a petty childhood misunderstanding. Family is supposed to help family. You need to call her company right now, apologize to her boss, and get her job back, or you are officially dead to this family forever." My father sent a message shortly after saying, "Olivia, I am deeply ashamed to call you my daughter. You think because you made some money you can look down on your family and destroy your sister's livelihood. Chloe is a sweet, hard-working girl. You set a trap for her because you've always been jealous of her beauty and her success. If you have any decency left in your soul, you will buy her a car or give her a high-paying job at your company to make up for the damage you caused. Reflect on your disgusting actions." I sat in my beautiful executive office, reading these messages, and I didn't feel a single ounce of sadness. I just felt an overwhelming sense of vindication. 5 years ago, they threw me to the wolves and cheered when they thought I was failing. Now that I am successful, they expect me to tolerate abuse, finance my abuser, and swallow my pride under the excuse of family. I didn't reply with a long paragraph. I simply took the security camera video file, the one where Chloe explicitly calls me garbage, snaps her gum, and brags that she can abuse anyone because she's untouchable, and I forwarded the video to my mother, my father, and every single extended relative whose numbers I could find. Along with the video, I attached a short note. 5 years ago, you told me I would be a failure. Today, I own the company Chloe worked for. Attached is the unedited video of how your sweet, hard-working golden child treats human beings when she thinks nobody is watching. She wasn't fired because of me. She was fired because she is an unprofessional bully. Do not contact me again. My lawyers will handle any further harassment." The reaction was instantaneous. Half of my extended family, my cousins and an aunt, actually messaged me back saying they were completely horrified by Chloe's behavior and apologized for how my parents treated me in the past. They told me I did the right thing. However, my parents and a few of Chloe's loyal friends are still spamming me from burner accounts, calling me unhinged. They claim that even if Chloe was rude, publicly humiliating her, getting her blacklisted from the entire tech sector in the city, and exposing her to the whole extended family was an extreme, sociopathic overreaction that went way too far. They believe I should have just pulled her aside privately, accepted her apology, and used my power as CEO to mentor her instead of destroying her life. So, YouTube, that is the end of this absolutely wild ride. I turn the question over to you, the jury of the internet. Am I the asshole for firing my estranged sister, blacklisting her from my corporate network, and exposing her toxic behavior to our entire family after she tried to have me thrown out of my own company's lobby? Or did she get a completely well-deserved, long-overdue reality check from the universe? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. I read every single one of them. Before you click away, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one,